All right, dear friends, this is it. Our, I don't know what annual Christmas. We have our Christmas gear on, handmade, bespoke from the finest tailors here in New York. Where did we get this, by the way? We wear this. We wear this every year, pretty much. We have a lumberjack version, which is
Well,
also
we have the red plaid version as well,
But
but I think
that's-
this version, that was last year, so we have to switch
matching
up.
cups because
Let's
we got our matching cups, and I'm on this, and we welcome and we tell you first before we begin.
Yes.
We love you. You have been a family member of us since when did we actually start? Not YouTube per se, but lives and
10 years ago.
yeah.
Well,
maybe.
first, let's start off with Merry Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. It's very exciting. We're so honored because of all the loyalty, support, friends we have. We want to just feel good tonight and spend a little time together. Maybe 10 years ago,
Maybe. We'll see.
as far as the lives.
But some of our great friends have been here, and we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. And moreover, we have this is one of the most unique means of communication, because nobody else does it. Nobody on TV, none of those big shots on whatever stop and say, hey, how you doing, whatever, no matter who it is, even when people do sometimes lives, they don't pay any attention to the people like Auntie and my good friend Bill Pierce, who I've known for, oh my God, since the otter costume days, and Demetrius Splitkin. Oh my God, Hillbilly Paul. We got
Bang is here.
everybody here. So anyway,
And I brought out Vintage Santa, my pin.
what is the story behind that?
I've just had him for I will say 50 plus years.
Really?
50 plus.
Wow.
50. Not that I want to date myself or age us, but that's the truth. 50 plus years for Vintage Santa.
I hate this stuff about age. You were talking to somebody, friends of ours, who said, oh, I worry about age. I don't even know what that means. I don't understand what that means. What is that supposed to be? What do you mean? Do you not want to get older? Okay, it's called death. Go ahead. Be my guest. I'm sorry.
I'll clarify. That's what they said to us.
Yeah, but yeah. And it's like, well, if you don't want to do that. By the way,
what's the alternative?
How about this week? The Christmas party that
you're
was
never going to
be able to.
You're never going to stop talking about it, and you're never going to get over it.
I'm texting you, get the hell out of here. We got to get out of here.
Okay.
We just got here. What we got to leave now? I'll feign a seizure.
I think it's very nice, especially after the last couple of years. New York used to be a party town for Christmas, for New Year's, and everything died out. I don't want to bring up what happened a few years ago. We all know. And there was nothing much happening in New York City in the last couple of years. So this year it was a return to not what it was, but it's on track. So there were a lot of parties, get-togethers we were invited to, sing-alongs, one of your favorites. You know what? Here's the way I look at it. It's okay for an hour or two. It's a diversion.
Anything's okay for an hour.
It's
well,
good with everything going on. There's
Honey.
nothing wrong with singing New
Honey.
York, New York, Jingle Bells.
I don't know. There we go. That's what I meant.
I said Jingle Bells.
Linda Hazlett, bless you. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Happy.
Linda's a warrior.
Linda's a warrior.
Linda's
and also,
a warrior.
Merry Christmas to you and your family.
And happy holidays.
Yes.
Whatever everybody is celebrating this year, I'm going full out with the Merry Christmas and the Happy Holidays. Trying to encompass everything. New York's very much a happy holiday city.
Mm-hmm.
No, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm doing it all.
Today, you were out.
Oh,
you got to say this. You've got to say this, and you've got to be able
upset.
to tell people what you see about some reality about what we're seeing here. Especially,
I had to take a sip of this water.
It's very
very disturbing what I saw today.
But it's nasty weather today and nasty weather now.
Well,
Tell them what you saw.
it's in the 40s. So considering, I want to say that's not too bad for New York City at Christmas time. However, I had one last holiday Christmas errand I needed to do. So I left at 10 o'clock this morning to get done early. It never occurred to me. I never thought about this, but I walked down 6th Avenue from 53rd and 6th down to 46th and 6th.
And tell them what's around there.
Now, traditionally, that's all the office buildings. You have the Fox News studio. You've got Radio City. As you get to 50th Street and 49th, you've got, you just go over one block. You can see the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center. And I never saw what I saw today. Just those 6 blocks, I saw women and what also looked to be maybe teen girls, maybe 17, with babies, the whole stretch, sitting on dirty blankets on the sidewalks, holding up babies, saying, "Help me, we need food," speaking Spanish too, speaking broken English, kids around them.
And these were illegal aliens. There's no doubt about it. They weren't. They're not from Queens.
I've never seen this before.
Right.
And also in the mix of this, you had those men. They all look like they're from Nigeria, one of these places, selling those fake, designer pocketbooks and Gucci belts and all that. The same merchandise every one of them had along the way. I never saw anything like it. And then every couple of blocks, you had a few cops. I guess they were supposed to be directing traffic, but
not doing anything.
I just saw them standing there. I don't blame them with what's going on in this city.
No.
But women, girls with babies, holding them up, hungry. So they bring these people into the city and then they let them sit on the dirty sidewalks.
They just abandon them.
Not to mention the streets. 6th Avenue was always spotless. I mean, a lot of big office buildings and banks and all of that going on there. A big place for pictures. They put out those large candy canes.
Big ornaments.
And they put out those big Christmas ornament, those big balls. Sorry.
Oh, you're dirty. You're catching on.
I didn't.
She says big balls and thinks of me. What
no.
I say?
But
like 2 mandarin oranges and a nylon.
I don't want to laugh about this because I've been very upset about it all day. I am very much trying to be in an uplifting, my message of hope, giving people hope, empowering this season more than ever. And to see this and to just let these people, no matter what you think about, because I call them illegal aliens, we don't let people break into our homes and allow that. We're allowing all these people to break into our country. But the fact, what a humanitarian crisis. Then we're letting them sit on sidewalks and the city is dirty. I looked around today, garbage cans overflowing, stuff in the gutter. I mean, they used to keep it really extra clean at Christmas time. And I don't know what you call this, but it's very disheartening because.
And by the way,
I love my city. I'm a cheerleader for our city. And to allow women to be sitting in the streets, girls with babies.
Well, with our Jadrul mayor,
where is he?
Did you see all the new people he added on this year? His favorite special assistants.
I don't acknowledge him. I don't read anything about him. I don't care about him.
What a moron. But anyway, by the way, this goes to show you.
They bring these people here.
Wait a minute. In contravention of this notion that this is the replacement theory, these people that we saw today, they're not here to be the permanent Democratic Party. They're not going to be voting anywhere. These are people who were brought here and just abandoned. It's not like, well, they're here because you see they're part of this the shadow government organization that brought them over. This is what Tucker said and other people years ago when they were called racist and the like, because you saw all these. Remember the white trucks in Jersey? We saw them, and the Teterboro Airport.
Oh, we saw buses
coming in, and all the late night. Remember? And they said, well, they're going to be here because they're going to be a part of the replacement. They're going to come in and they're going to swear fealty. These women aren't voting for anybody. They're just forgotten. And the Catholic Church.
Well, that's what I was going to get to.
Cardinal Dolan and all these big shots at St. Patrick's and all this stuff. Nobody's helping these people. And one more thing, and I'm going to tell you this. Today I read something that said, and please forgive me, and I don't want to get into Israel and Palestine, please not tonight, but I read something that said that according to the UN and others, there's 570,000 people starving in this Gaza area. Now, I'm not here to offer validation of such, but where is it in the hearts of these people with their midnight mass and the Vatican and the gold and this, other than a few words here and there? Nobody cares about anybody in this country. Nobody. Not the Republicans, not the Democrats, not the religious people. I have to say that. I'm sorry. What would Jesus, on the birth of you would think they would say, we cannot let people sit out on the street begging for food with their family. These women didn't commit abortions. Where are these big mouth conservatives who say right to life? Okay, here's the child. Well, we don't want to go.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. I wanted to say two things I wanted to say to you. These people are not going out. Do you need something to?
No. Do we have anything?
No. Do you want some water?
No. I got.
Okay.
I got coffee. I had some nice tissues, but I don't have them.
Anyway, do you need some tissues?
No, that's right. I stay here.
I wanted to say two things. These people are not going out to vote. These women, I can almost guarantee that. But are they going to the Democrats? They're just going to check a box for them. They're here, so they're going to check a box. That's number one I want to know about, which I can't seem to get an answer. Number two, this is the season, especially, where are the Christians? You touched upon this. I don't care. Every faith should be coming together, not just Catholics, the Jewish faith. Everybody in New York should be coming together to do more for these people. I'm sorry, mothers with babies sitting on sidewalks. And I want to know about Catholic Charities. As you know, I do a lot of border work. They are down there, Catholic Charities, making millions from the government, and they are just processing people. They won't talk to anybody. They won't allow pictures to be taken. And there are other NGOs and other organizations as well. I'm not just picking on Catholic Charities. They are not, in the season of Christmas, in Christ, being very Christian, in my opinion. And Cardinal Dolan is right around the corner at St. Patrick's. I want to know how to see these young women sitting on dirty blankets, holding babies, begging.
Do you understand the irony? Christmas, Mary, Jesus, the manger. We need a place, the birth of the baby. Do I have to point it out? Babies here with mothers, with the millions and millions. One bomb, one seed, one precision bomb. In any event,
and I just want to also throw in, and what about, and I must, even though my message is one of hope tonight on Christmas Eve, where is the help for the American mothers? We know that 1 in 2 women can't afford diapers for their babies. Okay. We know that 1 in 5 children approximately go to bed hungry, American children.
What about
every night.
young girls with sanitary?
I wasn't going to bring that up, but we know
not?
Period products. We know that also many girls and women miss school, miss work. They don't have monies to buy these products. Where is the help for our American girls and women? So I want everybody, though, if you don't mind my saying, to really, please try to sign up for my YouTube. I'm sorry, it's a shameless plug. I want to.
No, it's not.
I just did with 2 colleagues of mine that are doing God's work, that are together have done
They're
more.
angels.
Well, they have gotten work done in the last 2 years that our own federal government could not do. And that would be Tammy Tony Butler and also Dr. Francine Bononeri. And Tammy,
right here. Here's the link. Go right now.
Tammy's a sexual assault nurse examiner, and she has a whole list of credits. She's also
sexual assault nurse examiner. She is an expert. She was immersed in this world that nobody wants to talk about. I got to tell you this before we forget this. At this Bataan death party we went to the other night, there is a woman who I despise with every
she's bad.
ion, every molecule of my body, every atom. She was the one time when, during a presentation, a very, very serious presentation regarding child trafficking and child predation, she actually said, "Ew." a proud Republican who walks around screaming that Americans going communist, even though she couldn't explain communism, she had to even explain it. But actually, this is the problem we have. These conservative, kind of a cafeteria conservatives, these people say, just tell me the good stuff. Let me wave a flag. Let me wear a MAGA hat. Let me go to a rally. Let me say, but don't tell me anything deep. Don't tell me anything that has anything to do that might ruin my day. I wanted to take this woman and stick a fork in her ear or a pencil in her nose. I mean, you have no idea. Let me tell you something right now. Listen to me, right? Thank you so much. Listen to me right now.
Let me
The
take
way
my
you
seat.
just slid right
No,
in
but
there.
I have to expand a little bit on what I was saying there.
Sorry.
While you do that, I wanted to expand upon Tammy Tony Butler, also not only a sexual assault nurse examiner, tough job, but also a survivor herself. Her mother turned her into a sex slave as a child. So we'll leave that one because that's just, I think, the worst thing that anybody and a child could encounter. But also Dr. Francine Bononeri, who started Nurses United Against Human Trafficking with Tammy. And they're doing incredible work. And we came together today with our Christmas Eve message. I just put it up a couple of hours ago. And it's about giving hope because we want to give hope to everybody. We understand people don't want to deal with it or can't deal with it or just are overwhelmed. We will take that and help you. We are there, the three of us, for you. That's why I want everybody to watch this video, sign up. But I also wanted to mention,
but make sure just as if there's a nice contribution, I want to get to it right away and not let it sit. And then later on, I love the way people come like 2 hours later. Oh yeah, by the way, thanks for that thing. Sparky's a good friend, and thank you, Sparky, for your love and your support heretofore. We appreciate it immensely.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, honey.
But these two women who formed Nurses United Against Human Trafficking, two women, put out this study across the country. They got 48 states to participate with nurses. And basically it was, what do you know about human trafficking? What are the indicators? If you encounter somebody in an emergency room, what do you do? What are the protocols? Well, they got responses of 98%. And again, only 2 states were missing. And sadly, we thought it would be bad, but remember, our own federal government would not do this. With all this trafficking talk and resources and protocols and groups and organizations, nobody could do this. These two women did it, And the response came back, only about 2% of these nurses across the country are properly trained, know what to do, or have protocols in place.
Bill Pierce, thank you, my friend.
So anyway,
known Billy for 20-something years. Thank you, Bill.
And I also want to say, I did with a young woman the other day, former actress who gave up Hollywood because she developed a higher calling. She wanted to become an investigator, investigative journalism, do more with her life than just be an actress in the complicit Hollywood. We'll leave that for another program. Yeah. So I'm talking about her because she put out information about Pornhub. When I do a video and I put Pornhub in the title, I'll get hundreds of hits. When I put out something like the wonderful discussion the three of us just had for Christmas Eve, for our message of hope and empowerment, you're not alone. Remember, a lot of people are alone. This is a sad time for a lot of people. So we want to open our hearts, our homes to family and friends, be the bigger people. If it sounds preachy, sorry, everybody. I truly believe as I get older, we have to extend ourselves a little bit. The last I looked, it was maybe at 49 views. A couple of hours, I put it out. So it's like, I'm telling you this because right before we went on here, I see again, Tucker Carlson talking to Kevin Spacey. And I said to you, first it's at Andrew Tate with all of his jail with the brother and the sex trafficking and the horrible conversation. We've seen it all, the dialogues about women and girls. And now, so Tucker talks to him. And they're buddy. Now he's got Kevin Spacey, who's I'm sorry, in my opinion, the biggest creep. 3 of the people who accused him of things ended up dead. I'm just saying. And he's marching around in character. I have to watch the interview. I just didn't want to poison myself tonight yet because it just broke what I saw. Why is Tucker? I'm not saying I should be on the show, but why aren't we talking more about
Hold one
my
second.
issues?
Hold one second. Edie Crowley, the beautiful Edie Crowley, who sent us the wonderful artwork.
Oh, I love
Edie,
that.
we love you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for your
Edie.
kindness. Thank you so much. You are the greatest. I don't,
It's so disheartening. I mean, what is he doing? I guess when you have a lot of money in the bank, if he does, it's rumored he does, you can feel free to do what you want. And I guess the other part of me says, oh, he's just going for the outrageous to get clicks and likes and controversy. Everybody will talk about him as we are, Kevin Spacey, or maybe not, but very disheartening. So I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to continue on my journey of preaching hope and empowerment at the grassroots level, do my thing.
Well,
that's what I'm going to do.
I'm telling you right now, I have had it. 2024 is going to be
Yes.
a bad year for the GOP. A bad year. And one of the reasons why is because we need to completely change. Let me be in charge of recruitment. Let me go out and ask the question. And if somebody said to me, you can be Tucker Carlson, you can have anybody you want, anybody to come and to talk to, who would the person do? First of all, I don't care about celebrity. You've met more celebrities through years in theater and entertainment than I ever will. I don't like them. That doesn't mean anything. What have you done? There are people out there that I want to change the world. I don't want to. And by the way, point of view, I was on House of Cards, big deal. And that's it. And I don't know what this thing is. I think right now one of the most important, the most critical people around today. There are two people. This was the year of Mearsheimer. John Mearsheimer. This was his year. He was the most important intellectual, bar none. And interestingly enough, the DB Cooper of social media, Norman Finkelstein.
I know, Norman Finkelstein.
Try saying that 3 times
I
fast.
can't.
Hang on a second. Nancy Martin joins us. Nancy, Merry Christmas, you too. Much love and peace from North Dallas, Texas. Thank you, Nancy. You were the greatest.
Nancy.
And I love this man. He bought some of our pillows. Silver Fox, love the shirts. Merry Christmas to you both. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We do look very festive, but I want to, so everybody knows these issues, right? But I just want to say though, I did another wonderful, I spoke to her on just yesterday as well, actor named Carly Gibson.
Great interview. Watch that one.
I'll tell you why I spoke with her. Well, first of all, she has on Netflix, before you poo-poo it, she has streaming right now a holiday movie. It's called Holiday in the Vineyards, and she stars as saucy, sassy Cindy.
Did you see it, by the way?
Of course I saw it. I wouldn't talk to her, interview her, unless I did my homework and watch it. Please.
She's a great actor.
But I met her. I met her as a teenager because I worked on the Broadway musical Hairspray.
She was a teenager.
She was okay. She was a teenager, Carly Gibson. And she was kind of waiting in the wings for our lead actress. After a year, they usually go on to other roles and you need another actress. And she was kind of just waiting for the lead actress to leave after a year. And she did. She won her Tony Award, and Carly came from Michigan. She was like kind of on hold since she was 17. So by the time she got to New York, she was 18, and she was in Hairspray. And, here she is all of a sudden plucked out of high school, thrown into New York City. She's got the weight of a big Broadway hit musical on her shoulders as Tracy Turnblad, the lead character. And I just remember sitting in our meetings we used to have every Friday. It would be the press office and the producers, and we'd get together to strategize and ticket sales and all that stuff. And a lot of the cast was very young, the majority of them, in Hairspray, and they didn't know. They were from these towns like, in Midwest and South. They were never in New York City. Therefore, we had a lot of, problems, people going wild, people calling in sick, people getting involved in drugs and alcohol things, just they're a star now, right. People waiting at the stage door. They feel the egos are. So I go to this meeting and I'm like, we have to have a mentorship program like the old on Broadway, the old Hollywood studio system where we, rope everybody in, corral them in and mentor them as the adults. Not to mention at the time, this is, a $12 million musical. riding on the shoulders. And everybody in this room, the producers, everybody, they laughed at me. They're like, well, that costs money and who's going to do it? And that takes time.
Isn't that something?
Let's fast forward. Carly is now a 39-year-old woman. She is doing so well. She is in such a good place. She's an old soul. So I want to bring out Hollywood or entertainment where they can share a message of empowerment. Carly speaks very freely about her problems with drugs and alcohol, how she came out of that, how she now works to mentor. I want to mentor other women, girls, young women. We have a duty. So I want to present also anybody who's been in the acting business that wants to get out or wants to share their story or warn others. So I'll go there with the entertainment. I've got a couple of musicians lined up I'm going to be talking to.
Let me stop and say another a special. She came to, by the way, February 3rd at the Cutting Room.
Yes.
She flew in, one of the sweetest souls, one of the biggest hearts, Liz Solak. She's our cheerleader who gets the likes going. Come on, we got so many likes going. Liz, we love you. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Christmas.
You are exquisite.
She's a Lionel fan.
Exquisite. I love people who are. Let me tell you something. This year, I would go out and I would love to encourage. I like to go out and recruit new people for my new party. Wait a minute. Hold it. Arizona, the entire state of Arizona. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Mr. and Mrs. L. Thank you for all you do. It's appreciated.
Thank you.
Arizona, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful people you have here.
Oh, absolutely. And don't forget our buddy, we've been around, Eric Thaddeus Walters,
Eric's
Pope,
the best.
the Pope of the real Pope, who's been with us forever.
The best, the greatest.
Who is just terrific. But let me tell you something. I have been watching people, young people. I think I've told you this. There were two people I would love to get, this Brianna Gray and Crystal Ball. Get rid of Sagar and Robbie, whatever. And I'd say, listen, do me a favor, sit down. Now listen to me. You probably look at me and you think, what is this, Trump, whatever? No, it's like, I like your style. I may not agree with 100%, but the very fact that there are so many people who are standing up and saying positive things about things that it's not popular. It's never been popular for anybody to speak on behalf of Palestinians. And if you've noticed, I've never argued the history of Palestine. That's not my thing. I just want there to be, on Christmas, the stopping, the cessation, the immediate interruption of human carnage. Call me old-fashioned. Sorry, Jesus, just following your word. And these people who were from the prototypical, I think you might progressive left, are so smart. I would recruit them and say, now listen, I want you to bring in new people. I'll make a deal with you. I'll give a little bit on Trump. You give a little bit on Bernie, and let's figure this thing out, because Bernie ain't going to work. And some of the stuff that Trump said may work in 2016, but it's not going to work now. How do we come up with a new party? Do you want a new name? How do I bring your people in? How do I bring your young people in, and women and people for the future? Who's doing this? Charlie Kirk, CPAC, Fox News, dead. Post-Reagan, GOP. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Trump is squandering his time. We need new people. We need people, also people, pardon my French, as you brought up, with balls. People come up and say, I'm going to talk about whatever I want. I cannot tell you how much this year has been. I'm so impressed with Judge Napolitano, Mearsheimer, Duran, Scott Ritter, Sachs, others, people who say, I don't give a damn whether you like the RTs and even the Asians and China to an extent, BRICS. This is a new world. I want to be a part of a winning team. I am taking this. I'm taking the conservative world. I'm throwing it away. You see this? I'm throwing it away. I'm done. I'm finished.
Well,
I'm done. I want a new group. I want new talent. I want new objectives. And I want more. I want to start off with some very basic things, real basic things. Go back to anti-war. Is that too liberal for you? I want America first. And what I mean by that is, it is not undemocratic for you to care about your family first, your town first, your city, your spouse, to care about us first. America has been neglected for too long.
And our vets, we have to really, that's got to be stepped up big time.
My new veterans program would be, are you sure about this? That'd be my new thing. My new thing. Are you sure about this? You want to join the military? Are you sure about this? You want to join the Air Force? No problem. Coast Guard? No problem. Navy? No problem. Marines? Marines? Where are they going to send you now? You've got people like Lindsey Graham who want to send you to Finland to fight the Russians. Ed Grant, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you've got spunk, Ed. Thank you, Ed.
Listen, I still enjoy the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Last night we saw the Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin Christmas, where their kids. This was from 1967.
I was enjoying it. I miss those shows. I am sorry. Where you'd have a Brady Bunch Christmas, you'd have the Sonny and Cher Christmas. Everybody was doing the variety show around Christmas time. You'd have all those special programs. We don't have that. Now, granted, we have the Hallmark Channel. Okay. We have a couple of things on Netflix. I miss those shows, though. I think that was kind of fun. They brought their families on.
And
so
you missed out. Hang on a minute. Sparky's back. Sparky says, I've trashed Cristobal as an establishment steward, but she's seemingly gone rogue from the establishment on Israel. However, hopefully she's free from the establishment now. You know, Sparky, you don't get rid of the good in search of the perfect. There's never going to be anything else. Anybody who's got guts, I respect. By the way, one more thing. I can't say this enough. Jack Reacher season 2 is back. Jack Reacher, bigger than he was.
So excited about something, especially when I turned it off at 3 a.m.
I was watching last night. I was watching this.
It's usually the other way around.
I know. I was watching. She thought I was asleep. I was just very intense. Because I don't watch TV. I listen to headphones and stuff. But I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden she picks up a thing. I'm thinking, what is she doing? She picks up the clicker and turns off and go, hey! And he goes, oh, I thought you were asleep.
Because I'm always the one watching in the middle of the night, and
she's asleep. And I'm trying. She's watching like Mannix at 3 a.m. I turn it off, and she says, "I was watching that." I said, "You were not watching that. You were sleeping." I was not sleeping. I can hear you breathing.
No, I usually say, "I'm listening with my eyes closed." Yes, that's what I tell you. I'm listening with my eyes closed. That's right.
Listen to what I'm saying. PSYOP, pro-military, 6'3", 6'5", 300 pounds, solid muscle, hyperman. No non-binaries there. No LGBTQIS2S spirit. No, not there. No androgynous. No vague. It's about good, evil, good versus evil. It's great. And I'm thinking to myself, this is terrific. This is what kids can actually. And he's also respectful for women. Women are like pawing after him, and he says things like, "I'm sorry,
I'm going to have to watch this.
I'm sorry." He says, "That's not respect. I'm charged. It's not proper because I was in charge." But we're not in the military anymore. I know, but he was like respectful. And I mean, no rape, no. It's just like, do they know how big this is? And people are loving this because it goes back to he reminds me of kind of like G.I. Joe, so to speak. Good guys, evil. How many thought one of the greatest movies ever for good versus evil was Dirty Harry? Dirty Harry was perfect. Dirty Harry, the guy who fought the corrupt system to go after the bad guys, who took matters into his own hand. Dirty Harry from the days of Dodge City and Jim Arness, and it's just. I think there's a chance for us. Oh, how about little girls? At this American, I'm opening up an American Girl
well, look, let me
franchise. What a moneymaker.
There is a great report out.
Do they actually do the hair?
Well, let me just start.
This is what a racket.
There is a report out that this holiday season, there is a return to the puzzles, the books.
Yes.
The board games, the Legos, the Lincoln Logs, dolls. And because I'm frequently walking past the American Girl Shop, which is in Rockefeller Center, from pre-Thanksgiving, right through, It is packed with families going in,
Yes.
kids in strollers, kids being, hands held, coming out with shopping bags loaded down, and that stuff is expensive. It is a massive store, and also you can create your own
It goes
doll.
both
No, but you can
sides.
create your own doll. They also have a hair salon. Little girls
But
get
it
their
doesn't
hair
go.
done.
It goes to 52nd to 51st. It goes like
Well,
straight
let me
through.
just share, or you can get your doll's hair
Huge.
done. They tried last year to bring in something. What would be the word for it?
Stupid?
Well,
No.
it was stupid, but I don't want to use that word woke because I really don't like it.
Me too.
They tried to bring in one of those dolls. Let's just leave it at that. It failed miserably. Okay. Remember, this is basically tourist.
You mean a non-binary doll?
Yes, it was something like that.
You should
Choose
take
your
all-
doll, make it a boy or girl.
You
I
should
mean, it
take
was
all the
something like that.
reject dolls. When they go, what the hell is this? Wait a minute. We'll call it
No,
non-binary.
all I know is
What
nobody
is it?
talked about this. It failed miserably. Nobody cared about this doll. They had it in the window. Nobody wanted it. They returned. There's also several stores I know of this Christmas season returned to more traditional
Good.
advertising because it failed so miserably for them last year. So I see the pendulum ever so slightly swinging back. We just have to remember we're in a new environment, a new country, a new world. So that's where I try to educate and teach about how are we going to deal with that, kind of thing.
If we had, well, put it this way, grandkids now. First thing I'm doing, I'm going to say, all right, move over. I'm going to show you some kid. It's called a spirograph. Now, hear me out. Why do I want to do this? What is it? I'm going to show you fine motor skills. Okay, you take this pen and I want you to stick. Remember the spirograph? I loved it. It was the gear inside the gear, and you went in and made these loops and ever. You've got to tell a kid to do. This kid's done this. Give him a pen. Let's do this. Look at this and try to get that little hand and use the stylus and being able to. Those toys that we had. Did you ever do the little beetle with a magnet? And he moved up and down. He moved it around. It was a.
No, I didn't do that. I don't
Yeah,
remember that toy.
Don't you remember that? It was a little magnet, and you. But you
No, I don't remember
looked
that.
at it. Taught you stuff.
But I want to throw something in while you brought that up.
Please.
The most requested gifts that parents and grandparents and family members get are devices today. The laptops, the phones, the Chromebooks, the gaming consoles. We always have to throw in gaming consoles. I just want to throw in that if you do buy one of these for your child, your teen, that you have a duty in 2023, almost 2024, to make sure you understand about safety features, filters, talk to your kids, and understand the predators at any given time.
And learn.
We have 500,000 predators on these platforms.
But learn
Did you
from
hear
our
me?
friend like Chris McKenna
500,000.
about how to get a router and do all this stuff and control.
But you have a duty. I never used to say this until the last year. If you're going to buy the devices because of what is going on,
but tell them that this stuff is out there. Not that they have to figure out how to work it.
No, I'm getting
Okay,
to that.
please.
Well, first of all, you always follow linswarriors.org. Okay, so you have to start there, please. And then our colleagues at protectyoungeyes.com, defendyoungminds.com. I mean, there's a lot of free information out there. We're trying to give you free information to make it easier because we know that the companies make it difficult for you on purpose because they just don't want you putting safety features and filters. We have studies to back all of this up. The algorithms are designed to keep the kids online, to confuse you, to confuse them, to sell them content, to gain their personal information. So remember, you have a duty. If you bought that new phone, we can't tell you what to do. There's something called parental autonomy. And we believe in that strongly. So understand, educate yourselves. We will help you. I mean, write to us. We'll give you a step-by-step guide. If you can't do it, I have it on the Lynn's Warriors website.
And he will do it.
And Chris McKenna will personally, who is the founder of protectyoungeyes.com. He is the greatest guy. You can't figure out an Android or something, he'll write to you.
But
he'll help you.
You buy the router, and it was a not dinosaur. There's a Griffin or something.
It's called the Griffin router. Nobody knows about
and
routers.
It tells you what your kid is watching. He doesn't know it. He thinks he's got a regular phone. And thinking, oh no, I do. Sparky says, by the way, what is behind the scenes that causes the schism is in the establishment over Israel-Palestine? I'm glad they're finally divided. I just wonder Why on the particular issue and not another one? You know what, Sparky? I got to tell you something. I don't want to spend tonight, but it's an important issue. I will never understand how all of a sudden something comes along and gets people's attention. For example, do you know when the Zapruder film was first played or first displayed? It was 1975 or so during a Geraldo Rivera Good Night America, whatever it was. All of a sudden they were going crazy over it. It's like, well, where have you been? The number one most important thing that ever happened in the Kennedy assassination was the movie JFK. Not anything else. So all of a sudden, here's the thing that I find fascinating. October the 7th came along, and people said, here we go. That's it. These events are so horrific. It's so horrible. It's so terrible. This is once and for all going to take whatever pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, if there is such a movement, and it's going to destroy it. Because the instances or the incidents, the evidence is so horrific, so horrible, so terrible, so that nobody in their right mind is going to at all allow something as horrible as it lasted. I don't know. And then all of a sudden it switched. It had the opposite effect. Yes, it was terrible. Yes, it was horrible. Yes, nobody lauded this. But something happened. So to answer your question, Sparky, I don't know what happened. And the people who were always there was always a very significant contingent who were, pro-Palestinian, whatever. They were always there. But it's like somebody just announced, all right, legions of people, it's now okay. And it became fashionable. And all of a sudden, overnight, internationally, everywhere. I say, what is this? I have been watching this my entire life. I'm not old enough to 75 years. And I have never seen anything. Sparky, the world is changing. And that's why people like you and me and everybody, we need to go out there and get new people and say, listen. We're going to start again. Forget these parties. Forget the names. I don't care what it is. We may have a problem with it. It may be abortion. It might be gun control. It might be this. It might be that. I don't know. I don't. I'm not going to have this litmus test anymore. I want new people, and I want energy, and I want direction, and I want brilliance, and I want a new everything, because I have given up on the Republican Party. Democrats, I never thought we cared about them in the first place. This is going to be our year. I'm telling you, it's all changed. Everything is, you're not going to recognize. And wait till you see what AGI is going to do. How long has your husband been talking about this thing?
10 years, maybe. I think.
I remember when it was on TV commentary, they were saying,
I thought at Pix 11 News you were mentioning.
I mean, they're saying, is he talking about this again? And also water. Don't forget hydro imperialism. This is a world you don't know what's in store. You can't imagine this. And all of the people involved, I'm sorry to say this. Stop right there. This is going to be, okay, here's the world. It's all upside down, which makes no sense. Today I see this. Alex Jones, if he plays his cards right, is going to be able to say, all right, I'm going to try to address this Sandy Hook thing and get back to what he did first. He was the first person, and some of the very few people now who were talking about Epstein, but not the usual way. Let me say this one time to you. Epstein was nothing compared. He is not the big human trafficker. He's small potatoes. I'm not saying anything in his favor. There were women who walked away from him. There were women who took money and cash and they got out. Now, you're going to hear more about others. I don't want to ruin this, but you're going to hear some pretty dark stuff that happened there too. This man is disgusting and sick, but he's nothing compared to what's going on in the real world. We got a real trafficking. He's become the limited hangout. And today, just checking InfoWars, there it is. Bigger story, bigger than Epstein. Because what happens is the people that they really don't want to talk to are people like You're not going to want to hear this on Fox News. Why? Fox News doesn't want to talk about Epstein because Epstein involves digging and unpacking and plumbing the depths of who was really responsible for that. And those are the people who are of Fox News. Not them directly, but their friends and their cohorts and they are the establishment. So let me tell you something. 2024 is going to be an explosion of new platforms, new voices, new everything. This is the most exciting. So get whatever you thought of 2023, forget it. It's over.
I just want to remind everybody that the biggest human trafficker is our United States government with our open borders.
Yep.
Because
You hear that
is what everybody should be screaming in the streets about and protesting and marching about. Nothing is being done. It is getting worse every day. Rape rooms, unaccompanied children being distributed all over the United States. Nobody's talking about it anymore. We don't know where these kids are. I work with a lot of colleagues, a lot of, again, bipartisan. I will always ask, where are the kids? What's happened to the kids once they get to the United States? Girls showing up with backpacks, 10 years old, with 12 years old, 14 years old, with the morning after pill. Mothers putting them on birth control. Recycled kids, we call them, where a man will show up 15, 20 times with the same child, claiming he's the father. He's, so they can get that. So that's the human trafficking.
Right.
I'm tired about the Jeffrey Epstein thing because
that's nothing.
Because people consider it sexy or glamorous, or you lived in the mansion here in Manhattan, the most expensive residential home. This is what we need to focus on, this border.
I'm going to say this one more time, and I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say for the millionth time, Jeffrey Epstein is not about human trafficking. Jeffrey Epstein is about extortion. It's about all of the evidence. Where are the tapes and the videos and the recorded info? It's about honeypots. It's about extortion. It's about having the most powerful people in the world involved in flagrante delicto. For the millionth time, they will never talk about that. They'll talk about the documents. They'll talk about who was there in the flight logs. One more time, where are the pieces and the recorded evidence of the men, the powerful, famous men who had sex with underage girls that is being used to compromise them, not just in Congress, but globally in terms of war and military production and the like. Sparky says, Brianna Joy Gray destroyed Dershowitz. I think many old timers still don't take internet podcasters seriously at their own peril.
Well, I don't take them seriously. So, but here I just want to say,
stop right there. This is the future, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I want you to just watch this, and I don't want you to think you have to agree. I saw one of the best interviews with the notion of what are you supposed to do when you have statues commemorating the Civil War. The Civil War, and you don't like the Civil War. When does you can argue all day long? People don't give a damn about this. They all of a sudden they say, I'm a Stonewall Jackson fan. Why? Because it pisses off the left. I'm telling you, make it a point. Just change the way you want. I'm telling you, the rising and breaking points. And by the way, Sagar and Robbie, boring. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to throw in that our current Congress, the 118th Congress, is the most ineffective. I'm not just saying this as opinion. This is the truth. They have not passed one child safety bill, whether online or real time. The last child safety bill was 25 years ago, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Again, bipartisan. We have 6 bills right now we put together in one package. They will not address. Nobody's trying to steal anybody's privacy. This is about keeping kids safe online, holding big tech accountable. Why do we have child rape videos on every platform? They're not doing a thing. Nothing from nothing. And that is why I constantly tell you, you have to do it in your homes. You have to do it in your communities. Although we'll work with Washington, and we have a lot of Washington work coming up. I'm doing something with the Senate on February 6th. We will continue that on this end, just to put our faces and our voice into all of that. ineffective. They're
There's
all
a-
ineffective.
there's a place in, I'm not going to mention the name. There's a place in New York that a lot of the cool Republicans go. This is why I have no time for these people. It's this joint, and they go there, and the people who wrote stories about the Biden laptop, George Santos hangs out there. I thought these are the most miserable Fs I've ever seen. What are you? They're actually worrying about, well, we're going to have an impeachment inquiry of Biden. I said, our world is falling apart, and this guy is going to pull the. We don't have time for this right now. We don't have time to worry about an impeachment inquiry for what? Either indict him, throw him in jail, and move on. How would you describe these Republicans? Cliquish, star effers. They're into no, so seriously.
You want me to be honest right now?
Yes. No, of course. Make it up.
No,
Lie.
because I'm always careful what I say in a public forum. That's number one. I just am. I will use that word amazed. That when I am always educating, I am always trying to put forth, take actions. How can we change something? How can we get something on the radar? And I am met with, for instance, I was at an event the other day, and the entire 2 hours, I kid you not, the women spent taking selfies, group photos. And when I was trying to, first of all, a woman I never met before walked up to me and said, "Are you a Republican or a Democrat?" And I just said, "What does it matter to you?" And I walked away. I don't even know who the woman was. I thought, what a nerve. Okay. Next, they really were just taking selfies constantly, group photos. I was trying to put forth some agendas going into 2024 that could strengthen. This is a most important year with the election. And again, with the country exploding, the world changing, everything. I was met with laughs. I was met with, no, we want to hang out, all. So they are not serious, these women, about anything. And I will say they were basically mostly Republicans. And they don't want to hear about the issues I am talking about. And that is the problem. They will not come together as a group, talk about it, get stuff going, while the Democrats, progressives, whatever you want to call that other group, you might not like anything they're doing, but that's why they're marching ahead and getting things done. They just keep going. They lie. They push things forward, and there's no pushback.
I went and I said, I got an idea. I'll offer my services free of charge. Let's have a thing on the weekends if you want. You big shot Republicans, get your kids together, maybe in high school, maybe college, I don't know, and let me do some rudimentary constitutional stuff for them. I'll tell you, as a lawyer, and I'll make it fun. Believe me, they will have never thought this thing is this cool. The Constitution, and by the way, still one of the greatest. It's a little lefty, but still better than more than you can imagine. In Philly, the Constitutional Center is worth it. You've got to see this. It's the greatest story, the greatest. It's what we are. This would mean you tell me, let's use these facilities. I'll do it free. Saturday, I'll commit to whatever you name it. They look at me like,
well, I offer.
What's that look like? What are you talking about?
But I do that as well. I offer everything. My speeches, my workshops are all done for free.
Who is going to be,
who
is going to inspire the next generation of whatever the hell it is that we're doing? What is it that we stand for? What is it that we stand for? I don't understand it. If I explained it, if I said to you, bricks, by the way, just mention bricks plus 6, forget it. Forget it. Bricks. Well, what are you talking about? These are the highfalutin. These are, some of these people are, in one particular person is a billionaire. These are multimillionaire, huge Republicans in charge who don't know, cover your ears, shit about anything.
Well, can I?
And they fancy themselves the Republicans. Listen, oh my God.
So it's Christmas Eve.
You're right.
And I want to.
She's right.
I think we should switch it up. I think we should ask.
I know.
Everybody what they're doing, how they're feeling, what they have going on, things they're hoping for, what they want in 2024. Let's have a little bit of fun right now.
By the way, special hello. Look at Gerald Coffey. By the way, New Zealanders, our Kiwis are completely, I'm sorry, overshadowed by Aussies.
Santa gets to New Zealand and Australia first. Did you know that?
Did you? I did not know that.
Well, I'm tracking Santa since early this morning.
Please, let me check something out.
I do know. Check it out. That is the truth. But I think we should have a little bit of fun now,
Okay.
a little bit of levity. And I think everybody should share what they're doing this evening or what's on their mind or what they're hopeful for. So just go for it. Tell us what you're doing.
Which country will see the sunrise first on Christmas Day? And that's, of course, New Zealand is the first country to see
I
the
told you that.
sun on Christmas morning.
Well, I told you Santa is getting to New Zealand.
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, the international date lines. According to the Greenwich Observatory, New Zealand's Balleny Islands are the first land to have sunrise each day. New Zealand is the first country on the western side of the international date line.
I'm talking about Santa Claus.
You know what I mean, where each day begins. There you go.
Okay, now keep track. What
And
is
by the
everybody
way,
doing?
Is there anyone here tonight who is lonely, who needs some specific love? A little shout out. I'm serious. Anybody who's
No, this is
Oh.
a sad time for a lot of people. Look, even I think about my parents that are no longer here. We think about loved ones. We think about being kids when everything seemed, I think, much more magical, right? So I think it's a mixed bag at Christmas
Can
time.
I tell you my favorite Christmas story? Oh, look at this. Sparky says, build a better world with bricks. Yes. We always had in my family, we opened our Christmas on the toys on Christmas Eve, all our lives. And my mother, when we were into Santa Claus, which I was until my late 30s, she would have her wash basket with our toy. She was very good about this. She would write Santa in her handwriting and Santa outside the door. And my father, every year, I didn't know this because we're like, waiting. And I would say, now, how does Santa come here for us?
So you really believed in Santa?
Oh, yeah. When I was a
I
kid.
never did. I just played along.
Oh,
with it, but
absolutely.
I never did.
Greatest thing ever. And of course, the greatest letdown. But anyway, so my father, I didn't know this. He would have to go out there and go to the front door. We had this, and he would pound on the door and then run around and then, whatever it is. Okay.
You mean in the dark?
In the dark. Yeah. And I just never put it together and to go, Santa, and it was just, your heart raced. It's like, how did he know? And I said, look, he's got your basket. He's got your basket. He's got your thing. And he writes like you. And of course, I'm stupid.
Was your mother's laundry basket with
basket
gifts wrapped in
with
it?
the thing, with their Santa. I can see my mother's handwriting. Anyway. So my little sister, who's, 10 years younger, with the year that she did it, he turned to me and he said, you're going to do it this year. Congratulations. Okay. I said, how tough is this? So I did, the basket's over there. Make sure she's over there on the other side of this house. Go to the front. And then we'll kind of give you the up and you bang on the door and whatever it was. Now, for some reason, it was like raining. It was weird. Because at Christmas in Florida, it's never cold. It's never whatever it is. So anyway, so I dropped the basket. I hit the thing as hard as I could, and lo and behold, for reasons I don't know why, my sister's right there, and she says, "Ah!" And I go, "Oh shit!" And I have to run. She's supposed to be on the other side of the house. I slipped, like scuffed the side of my thing. I kind of rolled around behind this car. I was like, I'm all bleeding, hobbled around in the back. She's going crazy, and I'm sounding like this.
Well, I think somebody in the house didn't do their job to keep her away from the front door.
And she's looking at me like, "How was this? This guy's panting, bleeding." But she was so enraged, enwrapped in the whole Christmas thing, she didn't really care. But that's one thing I'll never forget.
Now, what are our friends doing?
I never get lonely, even though when I'm alone, all my loved ones are dead. I tell people in the death's waiting. I tell people in this. Oh, May. I never get lonely, even though I'm alone. All my loved ones are dead. You know what? Yeah, I know. You know what?
But May's here, so she's got all these friends.
You're with us.
And us. So.
But May, I know it sounds weird, but it's like when you are when you are away from your parents and you have not called them, you don't see them. They're alive. They're in another state, in another time. You haven't called them. That's kind of what dead people are. That you just have not called them. They're there, but you just have not spoken to them. Well, you're with us, Mayhemmer. Okay, you are with us. Edie says, I watched Crossing to Freedom, a great Peter O'Toole made for a TV movie. O'Toole plays an old vet, a World War I, helps save children in World War II. I love that.
Oh, we should watch that maybe. Let's put that on our list.
Nancy says, I'm praying for a Christmas miracle. I've been paralyzed waist now for 8 years, pain 10 plus for 4 years. I asked to heal from top of my head to the soles of my feet. Oh, Nancy, we're going to send, by the way, I want everybody
Send love and prayers.
send love and prayers and energy. Now, you know me, I don't believe in anything except
I do.
energy.
It's positive.
And I
energy.
believe in positivity, and I believe this concerted focal thing, this weird kind of a, because there's something, pain, recurring pain is something that will make you lose your minds. Look at this. Andy says, son and daughter-in-law and their 3 grandsons will be here in the morning for a full breakfast and presents, off to LA Tuesday morning for work at the Rose Parade. How about that?
That's right.
Remember
Rose
that?
Parade.
Remember that? Remember the Rose? Do we have, what was the one where they said, wait a minute, there's Saint Nick. You know, it was the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and this.
I talking about the Thanksgiving Day parade where it closes out with Santa Claus.
No, the bowl games.
Oh well, the Rose Bowl.
So don't forget, send Nancy Martin your love. My family is all gone. Look at that, Thomas. It's so weird, isn't it? Something. It's weird, but they're with you.
Yeah, but it's still weird. But
see, but I think about my Aunt Pepina, who was always like, ha ha ha. There was something weird. Like one time we were in a movie, and my mother said, "Isn't that Pepina?" She would laugh at the wrong time, and you know
those were the good times.
One time, listen to tell you about Pepina. Pepina was her name was Josephine. But I go see Pepina. She would always go to all the wakes first. She always wanted to be there first. So anyway, we dropped.
Why?
She just loved to see people catch up, see how people react or whatever. And my family were crazy. Aunt Rose would pull people out of the casket. Oh, it was always a thrill fest. Anyway, so one day, Pepina said, "Come on, let's go." If you tell her we pick her up, Pepina, she'd be in the front. She'd be ready to go like 3 hours before, ready to go to the party. Anyway, oh, by the way, Mad Peace says, "Merry Christmas, you beautiful and brilliant couple. Mrs. L, I'm so proud of you of taking on a real cause.
Thank you.
I only asked Lionel to give you these few bucks for the children, but I'm honored to give it in person. Consider it done, my friend."
Thank you so much. That means everything.
So anyway, we're at this feast. We're at Boza. Everybody went to Boza. It was this
What was that?
funeral home. This is a funeral home.
Oh.
So anyway, so we're in the car, and Pepina says, "Oh, I forgot my purse." My father says, "Go back with her." I said, "Oh, shit." So I had to go back. I said, "Where's your purse?" She says, "It's under there, under the where you walk in the side where the family was, not in the audience, but in the family in the side, because she got there first because she wanted to be with the family in the bereavement, even though she's not even related to the people." She says, "I think it's underneath there." I said, "We got to go and you got to look for it." So she went to each person, got on her knees, and she's looking underneath. Now they think she's making a round two to show her ultimate bereavement. And they're grabbing her. "Good night, She goes, "I know." And her hand is underneath looking. Anyway, I hear her. She goes, "Got it." And we grab the purse. Off we go. Little things like that. I'm thinking, this is the most bizarre thing. Oh, we had a guy one time, Christmas time. We had an addition. My parents have this house, and they kept adding on to it. Had no design to it whatsoever. Anyway, this carpenter, we liked this guy. Well, he blew his brains out at Christmas time.
Honey, I wanted to feel good. What everybody's doing.
So we went to
Eve.
I said, we got to go to this funeral. And I turned to my sister. I said, "Open casket." I was thrilled. And people were like looking at the incredible work they did. He goes, "Look at this." Because this is real mastery. Guy shot himself in the head and he's open casket. I'll never forget that one.
Hey, it's Christmas Eve.
It's a good story though.
For another night.
Sparky says, "I'm enjoying Christmas Eve solitude in my cabin heated by an early 20th century Montgomery Ward potbelly stove, on my 500 acres of remote forest. We'll be eating Christmas dinner with family tomorrow.
That
Wow.
sounds very Christmassy.
Oh, I like
Doesn't
that.
that sound very Christmassy?
500 acres of remote forest and a pot. Oh, I love
That
that.
sounds very Christmassy to me.
I've been really getting into how young people are having they'll get a little house, a little trailer. Oh, I'd love that. I'd love a real log cabin with an outhouse.
Log cabin was okay, but you lost me at
How about an
part.
outhouse? Going out, going out there
No. Can you
with
imagine though
with a
people
newspaper and a 38.
imagine people live like that, and they still do in some
Yeah.
remote areas of this country. But no.
Benjamin says, sad and pathetic way to end your career as a pathetic beggar. I guess I don't know what that means. Anyway. Thanks, Lionel. Feel a lot better now. I like that. I always thought about just when I was just things that were. I just remember so many, Christmas, the great toys. Like, what was the greatest toy you ever got in the world? When you really got a toy, we thought this is the best thing I've ever gotten. in my life.
My parents bought things like nightgowns,
Ah,
bathrobe,
for
slippers.
Christ's sake.
No, wait a minute, because there are a bunch of girls in the family. Always board games. I always wanted different art things. So any kind of art sets, jewelry making. My mother always got us, like necklaces, bracelets, things like that. But I remember my two youngest sisters, they came out with all that Fisher Price. I'm seeing it now actually on Instagram. It just pops up. I'm not even following it. Like the Play Garage. Do you know what I'm talking about at all? The Play School, the little like fat people.
Yes.
I can't.
Weebles, kind of Weebles.
Well, right. And so though the two youngest ones got a lot of, but I never wanted, I got a tennis racket. Those are the things I wanted, kind of thing.
Wow.
So, and we opened on Christmas morning. We couldn't wait to come down. It was all around the tree and do it that way, then go to church. Then my mother always made a beautiful family meal, and people would stop over later in the day, kind of an open house thing.
You didn't know them, do you?
No, they were in the neighborhood, and it was kind of just an open door. Other houses did it too. So I kind of have big fond memories of all of that, and neighbors' kids coming and playing. And
Kevin says, I used to dress up on Santa Claus, wearing a red coat and a white glove, and had a bell. You wore one glove like Jackson and had a bell, and I hang my arm out so my nieces and nephews would see my arm and ring the bell, and then they start for home. Oh, we were listening to this incredible story. Did you ever hear the history about
Christmas?
Oh my God.
It's not anything I ever heard of before, knew of. And this was, we have to vet this.
Oliver Cromwell, they didn't like Christmas. They wanted, and then later on, after they got rid of this and the monarchy brought it back, I think Charles II was the first one to bring it back. And then they said, listen, we got a real problem with this. They needed Washington Irving and they needed Charles Dickens. The one particular Christmas in New York with all these gangs, it was horrible. These cops were brutalized. So
in England, what was happening there?
Yes,
that was frightening.
So they came up with this complete BS story about the Christmas story, Charles Dickens, Scrooge. It was designed to create the notion of it as a separate, independent giving event versus and it had nothing. By the way, it wasn't until the 4th century that the Vatican or anybody even connected the birth of Jesus, because it was always Saturn. No, it was Mithra. Actually, it was Mithra. And they said, well, we're going to own this. Fascinating. And then later on, the Yule, listen to this, they would go out into the woods and get the biggest log they could get, and they would set it on fire. And that's it. The Yule log. Then they said, okay, that's great. But then they took, because evergreens were so strong, they would bring trimmings, whatever, inside. And apples would be hung on it to symbolize fertility or something. And then the ornament became symbolic of the apple. And then
I didn't know anything.
The wreath was the crown of thorns, and it was Jesus. And then it just grew, and it kind of, because Christianity, as you know, put all the emphasis. And by the way, Jesus was most probably born in the spring, because if you read the account of when the pastoral and the peasants, it was during the spring, not in whatever. But they figured, well, we're going to change it, and it was to counter Mithra and the pagan notion of it. Doesn't mean there's no God, or Jesus. It just means that this thing came about. Anyway, I love that stuff.
Well, I'd still love to see a snowfall on Christmas if we ever see that again and have that kind of environment.
Daniel loves the Yule log. And by the way, you know, Pix 11 started it very I think they were the first one.
Yes, they were the first ones. A lot of people have copied them in recent years, but it's actually if you just stare at it, it's very mesmerizing.
Yes.
Or staring at a fireplace is just mesmerizing. You can meditate, you can kind of zone out. I love it.
To hear the to hear the I just thought of something which I'm not going to tell you. It's just a funny story. But the cracking, sometimes a log will crack so loud you'll think this thing's got to fly out. We have this friend who has a fireplace who won't light it because he thinks the house will catch on fire and say, "You schmuck, we've had fireplaces since the beginning of time. You've got a flute, you got a whole." What are you talking about? No, we can't do that. I think there is something about a fire. There's something primordial. There is something native.
I mean, you do have to be very careful.
Oh, yeah. You got to pick the right stuff. You got to make sure it draws you. Remember one time when the Beverly Hillbillies, when they first came, they had an oven and they put logs, wood, they tried to light it, and they played the smoke. Jed says it don't draw too well. Anyway, Cycle says I take my shirt off a go jump in the snow. I take my shirt off a go jump in the snow the first day there was enough on the ground to do. I don't know what that means.
He takes his shirt off when there's enough snow on the ground, and he goes and jumps into the snow. But we haven't had. I don't know where he is, Michael, but
don't do this now because you're going to hurt yourself.
We don't have any snow happening lately in the last couple of years. So
look at this. Mio Dio says, I keep telling people he was born in the spring. The shepherds were out, with their flocks.
That's true.
Because it's lambing season in the spring. Yes, I know. And of course, they told you were some kind of a sacrilege. Look at this. We do have a past excellent commentator we both knew, Grand Marshal of the Rose Parade, Al Sanchez Jr. I do not know that. Christmas started out as a winter solstice, and it was a drunk holiday. Yeah. That's about it. We're having a good time.
Well, what do you say?
Well, I think that's enough of this. Isn't she great, huh? Isn't she great?
I say Merry Christmas.
May everybody have a beautiful spouse. Sparky, thank you. Mad Peace, thank you. We mean this tremendously. Ed Grant, Arizona, thank you. Liz Solak, Lizzie, we love you. Silver Fox, Nancy Martin. We want to make sure. Oh, Edie Crowley, Bill Pierce, Sparky. And remember, think about people that your family members. Think about when you were a kid. Think about those memories. They just happened seconds ago. They just happened. I can remember the way I thought. I remember the time when my mother used to teach us time. Like, for example, she, so many days until Christmas, she took out little Christmas tree shapes. And she goes, 10 days till Christmas. What's a day? Count those. Like, oh my God. And then to give us perspective. And then when I saw the cookies of Santa, the crumbs, I blew my mind. Made no sense. And I said,
what do you mean? Your mother put out cookies?
Yeah. I said, oh, look, Santa ate. It's of course it was in my 30s. I'm telling you.
Well, yeah, we always did that.
But it was like, no, but look though, he was here. He was here. And what it does is it teaches you this notion of imagination and what God is. God is Santa Claus without the cookies. And by the way, thank you for the the cough comment. I'm coming off of this mung for 3 days? I was out. I mean, I was out.
The cough is a little disturbing.
Oh, as soon as I'm
Maybe
talking.
because you keep talking and you have a dry throat. So,
But I'm feeling terrific though. No febrility, none of that stuff. There's a lot of this stuff going on. Anyway, we love you.
we sure do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Have Merry Christmas for our Christmas. You know what? We may do the whole thing all over again.
Merry Christmas Eve. Go
Yes.
watch some TV, mindless television. Listen to some
Absolutely.
there's so much great music now you can listen to. Just relax. Forget about all the other stuff tonight.
Oh, it's so true.
tomorrow.
How about Spotify? We saw these incredible.
There's so many playlists for holidays. I had a holiday classics. It was all piano music of
Oh,
in the very, in the background, very low while I was working before.
Yep.
Excellent. We're going to have
oh, come, Emmanuel. There was this
Love
there's this
that.
YouTube. Oh my God, I go crazy when I hear this. There was this woman. She's in a church and she sings it. It's on YouTube, and it is the eeriest. It just goes right to the. I don't know what it hits, but it just slays me. That, and of course, I Believe in Father Christmas by Emerson, Lake and
You
Palmer.
like that
Love
one.
it.
And I just want to throw in an extra thank you for any of you that are following me, listening to me, helping, supporting, retweeting, sharing stories.
That's her YouTube channel right there, my friends. Go and click right away.
Please,
It means
because
everything to us.
I am more determined in 2024 to just march forward, put my face in front of everybody in Washington, up in Albany, our state capital here in New York. Keep going, keep educating people, at the home level, in the community, in their homes, and one person at a time. And that is a warrior move. So it's going to be, I feel very hopeful.
I think so too.
And even though I think it's going to be a very hectic year ahead, but I also feel very, very hopeful. I'll tell you why, because more people have awakened, more people are taking action, more people are asking me, what can I do? How can I help? So I am very hopeful. Hope is the word for me.
Sparky says, when I was a kid in Atlanta, the Mall West End advertised the first Black Santa Claus, but it wasn't true. Grandmother's tiny community in central Alabama had a Black Santa Claus on horseback in 1908. Also Santa.
Wouldn't it make sense though? Like a Black community has a Black Santa. I don't know, because I only had white Santas.
I always used to say, excuse me, your imaginary Santa conflicts with my imaginary Santa. There is no Santa. I thought
you said you believed in Santa.
No, I was a kid. But I'm saying if he wants to be Black, Puerto Rican, what the hell do you care? You're making it up, for God's sakes. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
And the Magi, those are my favorite. Where are we going? To find Jesus. Who? You got the myrrh? What the hell's myrrh? Bring the myrrh. What is this? You got
Your
the
school didn't do Christmas pageants. We did Christmas pageants.
I don't remember.
I do.
I don't remember. I kind of know the story. It was in all the. Don't forget the joke. They couldn't find 3 wise men and a virgin. That's the oldest punchline in the world. In any event, we love you. See you tomorrow, my friends.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas Eve. Have a good evening.
We love you. Ta-ta.